2010, about the same time you were starting a zoning rewrite, council approved its first CR zone. And it's said in its press release, the zones could only apply when they are specifically recommended by a master plan or sector plan. 2011, they added 2 more zones, and Councilmember Florine, chair of the Fed Committee, said, said they would be adopted as part of master plans. So, my question is really, to me, it's really a matter of public trust and credibility. Have council members indicated to you that they didn't mean what they said just 2 years ago, and they wanted all commercial zones changed to CR zones?
Is your question for me?
Yes, it's for you. Or have you just decided to ignore what the council said about adopting CR zones through master plan?
You know, we really try very hard not to ignore the council. They're our bosses. I have to say that for us, the question of applying the new zoning code, assuming it's adopted, all over the county at once, is just fundamental to making a significant improvement for the county. If we were to apply the code only one master plan at a time, it would take approximately 30 years to get around the county and get it applied. And by that time, it would probably be 1,200 pages and outdated and need to be written again. It is, in my view and in the view of the planning board, just completely unworkable for the people who administer the zoning ordinance, which includes our agency and the Department of Permitting Services and the Board of Appeals, and to administer 2 codes side by side for 20 or 30 years. It's just the amount of confusion that would be caused, the amount of administrative resources that would be necessary to do that would be just an enormous waste of resources. So I understand that it is a significant change to the CR zones because they were written originally and in the change. I acknowledge completely they said they can only be applied by master plan, and that is a change that we are asking the council to make because we feel it's the only way to do a zoning code rewrite effectively.
My comment, I respect your opinion, but I think the preservation of the public process is more important than your administrative difficulties.
I guess we'll just have to disagree.
Yeah, I would like to comment on sort of implicit in your question and explicit in Sharon's question is the implications of this massive district-wide rezoning of commercial areas into the CR zones. While the master plan provisions that are in the current master plans will continue to apply with respect to that particular parcel and that particular development, there are several things that you need to know. First of all, the rezoning will already have taken place. There will not have been much by way of a public process on that rezoning. It will probably take place after one hearing, one evening before the council with 30 people getting to speak. And then rezoning will occur throughout the county. Now you have all of your shopping centers and commercial areas and so forth rezoned. What happens next? When the developers come in, there is a rather elaborate process for the developers to get their plans approved by the planning board, the sketch plan process, and ultimately site plan. The planning board would like us all to rely on the site plan process as the means for making sure, in Sharon's case, the shopping area near you, that the proposals, recommendations in the master plan for that specific site, in fact, is what gets built. The problem with site plan review provisions in this current code is, first of all, many developments in the CR zones will never see site plan or sketch plan because they will be developed under what's called a standard method of development. So those plans won't be necessary. It won't be necessary to have a site plan unless the project is proposed for the standard method and has a floor area of less than 10,000 square feet and is less than 40 feet in height. Those developments will never be reviewed by the planning board, developer, project, just go get a building permit. For those that do require site plan approval, it comes at the very end of the process. If the requirement is not that the development conform to the master plan, but only that it substantially conform, and that's that elastic substantially adverb, which I think is going to cause a lot of zoning litigation. And then the site plan procedures, while the developer does have to have a public meeting in advance of filing the site plan, doesn't have to post a sign or notify nearby property owners or the local civic association until 15 days, just 15 days before that meeting. And then when the planning board has to hold its public hearing later on, which is the final step in the process on the site plan, notice to the nearby neighbors and the community doesn't have to be given to them until 10 days before the hearing. And this is not enough time, I don't think, for communities to be able to react to these proposals, develop their positions, understand them, come to a hearing and testify, and really be able to effectively deal with the proposals that are on the table.
Well, I would only add briefly that the purpose of having the CR zones recommended in a master plan or site plan was in order to allow the community to come in and give some depth and specificity to what that development would look like, because CR zones are very, very broad in their requirements. So it is a very important principle.
I just have one thing I need to add. Ms. Davis has used a couple of times, has referred to substantially conform versus conform. I just need to state my understanding of Maryland case law. There was a case maybe about 4 years ago that was very clearly stated that no matter really what language is used, whether it's conform or substantially conform or follow or meet, they all mean the same thing. Even be in harmony with, which I always thought prior to that, it was a pretty vague standard. In harmony with sounded to me looser than conform, but the court was very clear that it all means the same thing. And so substantially conform is the term that we use, but I don't think it's a meaningful distinction.
I read the case too, and we'll agree to disagree.
Woman in the black hat.
Okay. You have several definitions in your document.